I wish more heavies ran the full heal on revive team perk. Yes, I completely agree. People will have you tricked into thinking this perk isn't very good, but it is. At least at higher difficulties when everyone is dying all the time. So, so there is that. But yes, this perk has pretty much been under the radar on a lot of people's minds. It honestly hasn't been very relevant, but now since, lethal is, on the cusp of some of these newer players, you do find a lot of these players getting downed quite a bit, and Ruthless also. So I just want to point out Bonds of Brotherhood is a great perk to help your teammates get over that hump of, dying all the time in Ruthless and Lethal. That said, hopefully this perk doesn't carry anybody who's not ready for those, difficulties, of course. But I just wanted to point out that this perk is very underrated, and it doesn't get enough appreciation. You guys seen me use this perk quite often, but I wanted to give a discussion about it because, frankly, I just don't see enough people using it. I don't see enough people talking about it, and whenever I do find a post like this, there's a lot of people who are kind of, talking down to Bonds of Brotherhood, but I am here to defend it. Bonds of Brotherhood is a good perk. It is something that I actively use in Lethal as a heavy player. Because I use a heavy bolter and ammo isn't an issue. I know the other perk to take less range damage is pretty good as well, to be honest, and on lethal, it's probably practically mandatory. But I think Bonds of Brotherhood does a great job of healing your teammates, so, that range damage doesn't get too bothersome. And you know what? Honestly, just play around walls, and then you won't have to deal with range damage, right? But yes, let's go into the conversation here. Let's see the reactions. And yeah, let's see if anybody's actually appreciating Bonds of Brotherhood. Finally maxed my heavy, and this perk is amazing. Yes, ammo and reduced range damage are both good, but if you're smart and save stims for right after you go down, you can instantly clear wounds and massively increase team longevity. Oh, dude, he's right about that. If the thing is, your teammates probably don't know this, but they should know this. But yes, they will respawn full heal. If you're on lethal, you have a mortal wound, and if you have a stim, you can instantly take it off, which is really nice. Really wish more people ran this and remembered to use stims like that when others run it. I feel like I've never seen any heavies running it. I felt almost as useful as a bulwark with it healing wise. Yeah, it's almost as useful as the bulwark. I think it's very nice to pair with the bulwark. Bonds of Brotherhood and Invigorating Icon can get the job done healing wise. I think those are two very useful perks. The thing that holds this back from Invigorating Icon is the fact that people don't use stims enough to clear their mortal wounds. pretty much. I mean, you even see that with Invigorating Icon. If you use Invigorating Icon on somebody who has a mortal wound and they get full health, they will just stay at full health. They will not care to clear their mortal wound. If more people did that, honestly, Bonds of Brotherhood would be in a great spot in lethal. Right now, I find it useful. I do think if you play with a team that knows what they're doing, it is a fair amount of health. Like, honestly. Now, I have used it. I have used it on a support heavy build recently, and I kind of carried some players past Reliquary. But that said, Bonds of Brotherhood is great for any team, even if you just go down once or twice. And let's say you don't have a bulwark, Bonds of Brotherhood definitely is good to get some quick heals in. For your information, the perk doesn't require the heavy to personally revive. It works on and for everyone. Many people didn't know that, apparently. Maybe that's why it doesn't get used more. Dude, honestly, this was a surprise to me as well when I first used it, because I noticed one of my teammates rezzed one of my teammates and they're, full health. So, honestly, it's a really good tool. It's definitely a really good tool. You essentially turn everybody into an apothecary on your class. Until we get Apothecary, well, if we get Apothecary, we're not 100% sure, if we get a new class, what it would be, so, I don't know, we will see. Bonds of Brotherhood and Invigorating Icon are my substitutes. I've been using Bonds of Brotherhood since early access. Oh, wow. Okay, well, this guy knows what they're doing with heavy. It's invaluable in lethal pubs. It sucks when someone doesn't know that they can heal their mortal wound, or even worse, people refuse to heal their mortal wounds trying to be badass. Gotta love being dead for 3 minutes when one button could have saved you. Holy cow. But yeah, okay, so this person's saying it's invaluable in lethal. So it does feel like lethal is the difficulty that is going to benefit from this Bonds of Brotherhood perk the most because of how often people go down in lethal. And mortal wounds are seriously, when it comes to lethal, mortal wounds are very dangerous to just leave. So it is worth it. It is 100% worth it to just use a stim on it. Because if you go down next, if you go down without mortal wound, you'll just get full healed because of Bonds of Brotherhood. So yes, I do believe Bonds of Brotherhood is a very good perk for lethal. This guy's saying it's invaluable, which means it cannot be replaced. And I find that to be an interesting discussion for sure. I can kind of agree with this. I think range damage, the thing is, the nerf to range damage team perk is pretty good, but it really doesn't do too much if you guys are just absolutely swarmed. It's really nice for chip damage. And I think Bonds of Brotherhood can just, clean up all of that. So yeah, obviously I do believe Bonds of Brotherhood probably goes a further way in lethal. But every other difficulty, if nobody goes down, it's pretty useless, right? For a lower skilled team, this perk is insanely valuable, assuming they actually know how to use it. Someone dies, revive full HP, take damage, use stim, back to full health, plus mortal healed. Essentially, one stim makes you immortal since you have to go down 3 times, including twice from full health before finding another stim to die. Holy cow. Okay, so yes, that is definitely how you're supposed to use stims, by the way. You shouldn't just use them if you're full health. You should wait to get damage and then use them, because it'll heal your contested health and then also give you additional healing to heal the mortal wound. So yes, I definitely agree with this, of course. For higher skilled players, like you said, it's absolutely worthless, as sometimes it won't even activate in a match. That 25% extra ammo is enormous if you're using the heavy plasma incinerator, and it still helps a lot with the bolter as well. I just think the bolter has a lot of ammo regardless, and I think the bolter also has a perk where if you're like lower than half, you get more damage, something like that. So I don't know. The heavy bolter, I think, is in a good spot to use Bonds of Brotherhood. The heavy plasma incinerator, I agree. You should probably use the ammo perk for that. As a heavy, if you have primary ammo, you should not be going down, since your contested health regain is so strong. Yes, that's true. Contested health goes right back up with heavy because of how much damage it does. Heavy bolter, very good for this. Yes, these are good notes for sure. That said, you can still just make a mistake in lethal and go down instantly because of how crazy the damage is. Dude, I really hope they don't increase damage anymore for the new difficulty. That is going to be wild. But that said, hey, we have Bonds of Brotherhood for it, so we're ready. Yeah, it's a great perk, but so is the ammo. The ammo perk doesn't rely on squad mates being intelligent enough to take advantage of the full heal and revive. If there's a bulwark in the squad, the full health perk really isn't necessary in the first place. But yeah, that's a lot of ifs, man. that's a lot of ifs, and I get it. Ammo is probably the most convenient team perk to use. I mean, it's a good perk. I just didn't find it 100% necessary with my heavy bolter to use the ammo team perk, because the heavy bolter, it just has so much ammo to begin with, and honestly it can take out enemies very fast, and the additional damage you can get with low ammo can do a lot of damage as well. So that, I don't know, I agree that the extra ammo is helpful and is probably also really good. But Bonds of Brotherhood it just feels so good healing your teammates, because honestly, dude, you can seriously just make one mistake to lose a run in lethal. And I think, Bonds of Brotherhood and perks like it that clean up mistakes are a great way to just continue pushing along that operation. And you never know, it might be the deciding factor. But that said, honestly, as a heavy, you should know where the ammo boxes are, so you don't lose out on ammo. And I don't know, I just think there's ways to play around it. But that said, there's probably ways to play around having to use Bonds of Brotherhood as well. But I gotta say, most squad mates are going to be intelligent enough to use the stim to clear their mortal wound in lethal. It's just the lower difficulties where that's probably an issue. As a Guardian Protocol Medicae Adept Sniper, I hope my near-instant invisibility granting revives will suffice for now. Yes, see, that's the thing. The near-instant invisibility granting revives on Sniper with Bonds of Brotherhood, very, very good synergy. Medicae Adept is a perk on Sniper that gives you quicker revives, and honestly, it's very strong. It is basically near-instant revives, and it's very helpful. It's very helpful in lethal as well. So, Medicae Adept with Bonds of Brotherhood is perfect, and yes, even the cherry on top to grant invisibility to both the teammates there, to the person who's doing the rezzing and the person who is getting rezzed. They both get invisibility, effectively de-aggroing all the enemies to go on your one teammate who is not invisible. So definitely take advantage of that as quick as possible, because yeah, the camo is actually really good. The camo can just de-aggro the enemies, and then you just get an opening to attack them. So there's a lot of times where you use the camo, de-aggros, and then you just instantly re-aggro the enemies, and then the enemy's just looking back and forth like, oh my god, there's so much going on. But yes, I do enjoy getting these rezzes with Sniper. That is like the best way to do it, because they're invisible and they get full health, and now all they need to do is use a stim when they get hurt to clear their mortal wound. It's gotten many a fire team of mine out of stock spots. Okay, that's an interesting way to put that, but yes. The near instant revive is just really good, and then yes, with Bonds of Brotherhood, very good combination right there. People really sleep on this perk because they think, it's okay, I'll never go down. This perk turns every single stim into a mortal wound healer. It's amazing. That's the best way to look at it. And yeah, that's huge. When it hits the fan, it's amazing to know not only will you be able to heal a mortal wound on a down, but if someone goes down a second time afterwards, they're still back at full health with another life. It's an instant pick for me. I have to agree with what they are saying here. This is why, honestly, yes, for the most part, you will not be going down on average or substantial. I mean, maybe substantial. Substantial has quite the reputation right now. But yes, turning every stim into a mortal wound healer, and then not only that, you kind of have more stims because now you don't need to use 2 to heal your mortal wound, essentially. It just saves stims, and also kind of buffs them a bit. Dude, yes, this is the correct way to look at it, and I think this is probably, when you look at it this way, it's a really good perk, man. It is a really, really good perk, and this is probably why so many people kind of forgot about it, or it goes under the radar, just because they don't really see the benefits like as quickly as Invigorating Icon. Like you can see the benefits with Bonds of Brotherhood like over time, is my point. But yeah, that said, let me know in the comments if you guys are convinced that Bonds of Brotherhood is now worth using. I did see a few comments that weren't too impressed with it, but I think this is a great way to, basically summarize it, is now every stim is a mortal wound healer. And that's good. That's good. You can really push as a team just with that, you know what I mean? So, yeah. Definitely let me know in the comments how you have been, if you use Bonds of Brotherhood, or if you've never noticed how good it was, or, your experience with Bonds of Brotherhood. Basically, just let me know if you've ever seen it, because I genuinely do not see it enough. But yes, that said, thanks for watching.